On this episode of Urban U, an ultralight exoskeleton in the making by one of our own City College engineers, a treasure trove of audio tapes with over 200 conversations on Black American cultural history, and the stories behind the street names of our CUNY schools. All this and more CUNY highlights. Welcome to Urban U.
This may look like a simple leg brace, but it's actually a state-of-the-art wearable robot designed to aid human movement.
What about the range of motion?
Professor Hao Su and his students at the City College of New York are developing the next generation of a high-performance exoskeleton, one that's breaking the current mold of the heavy, bulky, and rigid pre-programmed models.
It's the most lightweight exoskeleton and also the most compliant exoskeleton.
What makes this exoskeleton unique is that it's 70% lighter than anything on the market and more intelligent.
We use sensors to measure human performance in real time, then use this data to control the robot to maximize the human performance.
So instead of the robot moving the human moves the robot. An innovative, smaller motor design makes the exoskeleton lighter, and 3D printed fabric makes it customizable and fitted to the user, primarily people with lower limb disabilities.
In particular, people with a neurological disorder like a stroke, spinal cord injury, and people with a musculoskeletal disorder like people with knee osteoarthritis.
Dr. Su is also working with the National Institute of Health to develop a pediatric version of his exoskeleton to help children with cerebral palsy.
The exoskeleton has the potential to be a new treatment solution besides drugs and surgery.
Although the focus is primarily on people with limited mobility and partial paralysis, Dr. Su says that technology can also be used to ease the burden for those without disabilities who endure prolonged physical strain.
Using our exoskeleton, we can reduce about 10 to 15% of energetics during human walking for able-bodied population, like workers and people like soldiers.
The groundbreaking work has earned Dr. Su the National Science Foundation Career Award and landed his team a spot as finalists in the 2018 Toyota Mobility Discovery Award.
It's to help people with disabilities, and I think that's really important. It's like giving back to society in a way.
Okay, yeah.
Now that the first phase of robot development is complete, Dr. Su and his team are working on evaluating and customizing the exoskeleton for different populations. But the big question is, when will it be available to the general public? Dr. Su says hopefully in a couple of years, pending FDA approval. For Urban U, I'm Susan Jun.
Many of you know that the program for deaf adults at LaGuardia Community College goes back 45 years, almost to the founding of LaGuardia. So for all that time, LaGuardia has had a unique set of services to help students who are deaf and hard of hearing prepare for college, and then when they enroll, to help them succeed and earn their degrees. But we also do a lot of work at LaGuardia to help people learn American Sign Language and learn interpreting so that they can do that in their careers, sometimes as teachers or as healthcare professionals or in academia and education. So what happens at LaGuardia is that really we have different services and different programs for students who are deaf and hard of hearing in various parts of the college. So I wanted to shine a spotlight on this incredible aspect of LaGuardia that is really unique in CUNY and frankly unique in colleges in this part of the country.
For some New York City middle schoolers, a college education is a dream out of reach. The CUNY Explorers program seeks to change all that.
The goal of the program is early college awareness, so that all middle schoolers will have the chance to visit a CUNY campus at least once during their time in middle school and be exposed to college.
So guys, that's an affordable education to all students who live in New York City, okay?
While the program is expanding beyond serving just middle schoolers, it plans to stay true to its original intent, helping pre-college students see that higher education is accessible.
Really highlighting 3 key messages in our program, which is that all students can go to college, that college is affordable, and that they can take steps now in middle school to start preparing for college.
The CUNY Explorers program is on almost every campus in the CUNY system. Students learn the differences between community and senior colleges.
We have 14 participating CUNY campuses, and all of them are so unique and offer, a lot visually for students to see. And so middle school students will get a tour of the campus itself, understand how the spaces are being used, everything from the academic classrooms to the game rooms and the pool, the gym, and they're very excited to see all of those things that aren't offered in their middle schools.
And it's not only middle school students who benefit from the program.
So our program is unique in the sense that we employ CUNY students, over 100 CUNY students each year, to give these really rich educational tours to middle school students. So there's definitely that near peer component where college students, CUNY students who are from the same communities, sometimes even the same exact schools as the middle school students who are visiting, have this relatable relationship, this almost like big sister, big brother kind of relationship that they end up building with the middle school students.
Sabrina Santos is one of those guides on the City Tech campus.
At City Tech and CUNY Explorers, we have very great relationships with the different department professors and the different programs. My favorite part is even the culinary section where we have a mock restaurant. And once they go inside and they're like, wait, there's a restaurant inside the campus. This is so cool.
For the explorers who are coming to campus to learn about the college experience, when you talk to them, what are the common obstacles you find that they face in trying to get that college education?
When middle school students are surveyed each year by the DOE and asked, do you want to go to college? The majority say yes. But what we've learned is that there's an aspiration gap. So while that desire to go to college might be there, there are obstacles that come in the way of that. Things like, oh, my family can't pay for college, or this myth that college is only for the wealthy and that they wouldn't be able to afford it.
And that's when one of our peer guides step in, and even I'm just saying, well, we have different programs to pay. We have FAFSA, TAP, SEEK, C-STEP, ASAP, CUNY Edge. There are scholarships, there are merits. There is no way for you to not be able to pay for college, and there's no way for you not to attend.
I'm Andrew Falzone for Urban U.
I wish they taught us that not everybody learns at the same pace. Because when you do fail, when you do get held back, it hurts. And it puts you down even more when everyone moves on to the next level without you. It feels like you're being abandoned. There were even times when teachers would single me out. They'd say rude and snobby comments about how I'm behind or how it's my fault that they have so much work in the morning. Instead of helping me, they made me feel worse. But one day in Mrs. Smith's class, she knew that I was falling behind and called me a late bloomer, instead of making me feel bad about not getting what she was teaching. Because of that, because of what she did, it made me realize that it was okay to go at my own pace.
Coming up on Urban U, a mother-daughter story of how CUNY has changed their lives, and an audiotapes history collection you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
mom attended Bronx Community College, and initially she really had no plans to go to college. My name is Natalie Bumpina, and I am an assistant professor at Queens College in the Department of Urban Studies. My mom grew up in Harlem in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This is Harlem long before gentrification. Folks did not have a lot of opportunities there. Her father became seriously ill with kidney disease when she was 10 years old. Her mom had to pick up evening shifts in order to support the family. And as a result, my mom's responsibilities at home grew.
That was a hard time. It's because trying to focus on your own schoolwork and trying to keep up with a 3-year-old and trying to help my younger brother with his homework. I think that there's so much that I missed academically. And I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm done with high school. So Mr. Warren, who was my college advisor at the time, and he asked me, did I want to go to college? I was like, okay, you know. And I said, well, he says, well, what do you want to do? And so I can't even believe I said this. I said, I want to go to Bronx Community College and be a nurse. And that was it.
At that time, when she was a high school senior, CUNY had just adopted the open admissions program, and tuition was also free. So those two things together made it possible for her to go to Bronx Community College. Towards the end of her studies, was really struggling to pass a pharmacology exam that was critical to her graduation. And a professor at Bronx Community College ended up devoting 4 full days to tutoring her.
So I got the second highest score, which was a 98. Somebody else got 100, and then somebody got 96. And I was like, that changed my life totally. Totally changed my life.
But I'm so grateful that this professor did that, because my mom ended up getting her RN, and she has been a nurse for over 30 years.
I don't know where I would be at this point if I hadn't gone to Bronx Community.
From my mom's experiences, again, with these professors that she remembered at Bronx Community College, I know firsthand what a difference we are actually making in students' lives. I think something like 70% of undergraduates are people of color. 46% of undergraduates are actually women of color. And the fact that this university is accessible to them, as well as other New Yorkers, makes it a place where people can take the reins of their education and change their lives.
With me starting at Bronx Community College and the struggling student, and then Natalie being at Queens College and probably working with students who are like me. And I think that that's just a great thing, that she has that sensitivity. She understands what it's like for somebody to struggle and need support. And so I think we have come full circle.
Hi, my name is Suha, and I'm a student food navigator from Baruch. The Student Food Navigator program is a super quick and easy program available for all CUNY students. You can text food to our number at 855-230-6746, or fill out a quick form at our website at swipehunger.org, and a Student Food Navigator just like myself will reach out to you very shortly to help connect you with food resources in your area.
I'd like to begin with the first time that I ever really knew very much about you, and that was with the flag show at the Judson Church.
3 artists were arrested for organizing a people's flag show. and we were arrested in the sanctuary of the church. When we got to the tombs, it was after 9:30, and after 9:30 you're not supposed to get into the tombs. So the man who's the guard at the tomb said, we can't let you in because it's after 9:30. So the guys who had arrested us said, but we have to get in because the DA's waiting for us. So the guard said, well, look, I'll just turn my back and you can just cut. I said, are we sneaking in the tombs on Friday night? I mean, what kind of foolishness is this? I said, if we can't come in, we'll just go away, you know? So he says, well, wait a minute, who are the arrested people and who are the officers? So I said, they are.
The Hatch-Billups Oral History Collection began in the 1960s in the wake of the Black arts movement. Camille Billups and James Hatch, who were husband and wife partners, who were artists, activists, collectors. They began collecting thousands of books, manuscripts, broadsides, and then recording oral histories with artists from all disciplines.
What's so wonderful and fortunate that they had the foresight to reach out to these people, some of whom are household names, some of them are lesser known.
So he asked me to come down to Carnegie Hall to audition. And there were three people, Ward French, his daughter, and I think his secretary, who sat there in all those 2,760 seats. And I had worked hard to prepare half a dozen songs for him to hear. We did those half dozen songs, and I stopped. And he said, well, go on. And we did the whole darn repertoire. Well, I would say on a scale of diminishing returns. And Ward French used to say, I remember that night I made you sing a whole damn concert for me and my daughter. I said, yes, you SOB, and I'll never forgive you for it.
Ever since I came to the City College Archives in 2000, I've been looking at this collection and saying, I need a grant for these to get these digitized. And due to a relationship that we established with the Grammy Foundation, myself and Marco Crowley, we looked into their grant funding programs and applied again for a grant for this audio material.
So the purpose of digitizing the CCNY collection is because the tapes are sort of at risk of material loss due to their format. They're held on 5-inch reels, and even though those tapes are in great shape, any kind of sound format is at risk of material loss, and you are risking losing the content on those tapes. So this was considered a high priority project for us. As soon as we got the files back, I went and turned the U.B. Blake tape on, who's a musician hero of mine. And I was really pleasantly surprised to hear that he's at the piano for the interview. So he's playing little tidbits of songs.
So when I played Harry for her, now I told you, I knew the scope. I knew how high or how low she could sing. Because she was been around and I had heard her sing. I will play I'm Just Wild About Harry, like I first wrote it.
So people in the CUNY research community can access the entire Hatch-Billups collection available at CCNY through one of our library databases called ArtStore. We really hope that this collection will encourage our library patrons to feed their scholarly and creative work, specifically fields like Black studies, art history, theater, dance, music. By allowing this collection to be accessed more easily, we really hope to contribute to the fight against racism in America, because art is such a powerful tool in connecting us to one another and exposing our common humanity. We really hope listeners will appreciate that.
When you give a cab driver directions to your home, or type in your street address to order food, do you ever take a minute to wonder just who or what your street is named for? Well, we did. So we bring you now the stories behind the streets that our CUNY campuses call home. This month, our Manhattan schools. Manhattan is home to almost half of all CUNY campuses, 12 schools in all. 8 of them, however, are simply on numbered streets on the grid, so at first glance seems not much story there. However, the story of the grid itself is worth a look. With the Commissioner's Plan of 1811, it was a young surveyor named John Randall Jr. who planned out an expanding Manhattan's future all the way up to 155th Street. He was hired when he was only 20. One of his maps, 11 feet wide and 50 feet long and hand-drawn, can still be seen in the borough president's office to this day. That leaves Baruch, the Borough of Manhattan Community College, City College, and Hunter, all on streets with actual namesakes. Baruch College resides at 55 Lexington Avenue. The road's southern section is named Irving Place for author Washington Irving, who was friends with the developer, and the northern section, Lexington, after the Revolutionary War battle. Farther south, the Borough of Manhattan Community College, BMCC, can be found at 199 Chambers Street. Many streets in this area were named for important parishioners of the 1700s of Trinity Church. Chambers Street is one of them, named for John Chambers, as are streets in honor of perhaps more familiar names, like Duane and Reed, for parishioners James Duane and Joseph Reed. Interesting side note, John Chambers' nephew was none other than founding father John Jay. Turning north, Hunter College sits at 695 Park Avenue. How did Park Avenue get its name? It's not exactly because of the planters in the middle of the road. In 1850, what was originally just a cut through Murray Hill on 4th Avenue was roofed over, forming a tunnel. This roof was then lined with green malls, giving Park Avenue and this new Park Avenue tunnel its name. And last, but not least, City College at 160 Convent Avenue. Since 1847, what would ultimately become part of the City College campus was a women's parochial school, the Academy of the Sacred Heart. In 1951, the city bought out the land for CUNY's own expansion. And though their convent left with them when they left, to become what is now Manhattanville College in Purchase, New York, the name, Convent Avenue, stuck around. And with that, we wrap up Manhattan. Stay tuned next time for different boroughs, different streets, and different stories of our city. For the record, I'm Ari Goldberg. We leave you with these Manhattan Street images adorned by the dance of our students at Hunter. Thanks for watching our stories from the nation's largest urban university, the City University